So today we're gonna see how I want to scale a few brands to 0 to 10 and 20 actually K a day plus in spend, and that's actually doing profitably, scaling new customer acquisition, new customer revenue, and most importantly, doing this efficiently while maintaining MER, maintaining the efficiency of the business. And that's exactly how we're gonna do this today. And this is through a very clear kind of strategy that we use to structure and scale Facebook ads and basically Meta. So just to be clear, here's for example one example that we managed to do this for. So again, this stuff works whether you're spending like 0 to kind of 50K a month in ad spend, up all the way up to 500 and 600K that we're gonna be discussing today. Now, one of the most important thing that you need to focus on first is having very, very specific targets on your products. I mean, it depends on whether you have a multiple kind of product business, but if you have like a very specific one kind of product, again, that might be a bit easier, but you need to go on a SKU level, see what's your kind of profitability rate, see what your targets are, so we can actually have a very clear financial outcome from the account itself. Because the most important thing and the most kind of the kind of the biggest mistake is our brands don't really connect the marketing with the finance, so they end up like wasting a lot of budget, wasting a lot of money in the process. So first of all, make sure you have a clear KPI, what's profitable on a kind of SKU level. And the number two is make sure you have enough creative to actually go out and scale spend. Because we're not going to scale spend if we don't have the right kind of creative. So one thing here is positioning and new customers. You need to unlock the kind of messaging that will allow you to scale to the next level. You cannot really scale an account by using the same kind of messaging. And the easy answer to that is you need to expand the actual messaging and pull people from unaware segments of the audience. So for example, on a very, very simple kind of framework here, first of all, you can actually focus on problem solution formats when you're targeting your creative. So for example, are you struggling with X? Here's a solution kind of framework. But then after a point, you need to start bringing people from those solution kind of aware segments, and in general from those segments of the audience that not really know your product or have that kind of pain in actually. So again, that will kind of depending on the product and the business and everything. But most importantly, I want to stress here that you need to expand the kind of messaging to basically pull more people into those problem and solution aware segments, so you can actually sell them with your other creative. So key thing here, have enough creative volume, enough creative diversity, which is my other point here, makes you actually have kind of a system that you get multiple kind of different styles of assets. Try statics, try UGC, and try kind of different video format. And the simple thing that you need to realize that I made kind of a big mistake was I was treating everyone like everyone had the same feed. If I check my feed on Instagram, probably will be mostly reels because that's what I actually consume. But if I check another person's, it might be, especially if it's like maybe older, it might be just a lot of statics or a lot of like images. Because that's why that specific person has interacted with. So that being said, just have enough creative diversity so you can obviously target everyone. Now that's a very simple kind of framework here that I have. I think it's a bit cut off here. But point being, we have one creative test campaign from a structure perspective. And before actually going into the actual structure, here very important stuff. Make sure everything is on a click-based attribution. So it's actually the most incremental. So that means 7-day click or 1-day click. It really depends on your kind of consideration period for your product. But most importantly, it will be just specifically just so we can steer away from that view through conversions that we know is not really kind of incremental and not really working that well. But in terms of like settings, just make sure you use 7-day click and leave the 1-day view. And then the other big piece, how we scale efficiently, is through cost controls, guys. Cost controls is the single most important thing, so you avoid kind of what's spent on creatives that don't work, and most important, you can test pretty much how many assets you want until you find that one winner. For example, here's an account we actually manage right now. We scale around 4.x in ROAS, and over the past 60 days, we scale this from 500 to around 700k a month. And that's basically just because we are focused solely on creative and manual bidding, so we are being very efficient. And again, how we do this, basically, we have one creative test campaign. I mean, that's in general, the kind of, there's no kind of one set in stone kind of campaign structure, but typically it's how it looks. We have one creative test campaign, ABO, cost controls. We test kind of the assets on, depending on what makes more sense. Obviously, it can be sorted the test by whatever makes more sense. And then we have obviously one scaling campaign, BAU, one AAC plus campaign with cost controls. I like to use both just because I think each one treats kind of hits different kind of people, and it feels like it's kind of a different kind of machine learning as well, and on the back end. So I like to use both, and then we have one retargeting campaign. So that's basically it on its plainest kind of form. Obviously, that probably will align for one product. If you have multiple products, you're gonna have multiple AC plus campaigns or scaling campaigns just for the specific products. In terms of retargeting, obviously make sure it's like broad stacked audiences, and that's pretty much it, honestly. Focus on create diversity, creative volume, and cost controls, which are set, and I forgot to say that, based on the first point that we brought up, which is basically on the profitability that we have on a specific SKU. And then I have a kind of bonus point here, is white label strategy. We've seen CAC, customer acquisition cost, drop significantly just from running ads through the profile of creators. So you might actually be cooperating with a few creators, make sure you get access to the profile and actually push traffic and push ads through the profile. Here's, for example, how we structure this. Again, it will depend. We do a bit of retargeting from the creator's page, as well as obviously call audience, and then some variety targeting, because this is running as a collaboration post, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we scale basically Meta to 0 to 20k a day. That's pretty much the all top level strategy. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to let me know. I can go a bit deeper on any of these points. Thanks a lot.